Selected people on Earth mysteriously gain superpowers. Will the rest of the world accept them? What secrets do these new superheroes hide? Let's find out, as today, on Story Recaps, we will be covering the first 5 episodes of the series Darker Than Black, Kuro no Keiyakusha. In the opening scene, a Frenchman named Louis is running away from the police. They trap him on the rooftop of a skyscraper, but he surprises them by revealing he is a contractor. The policemen are pushed without any physical force, and he flies away to a nearby building. As a result of the use of his power, Louis has to break 2 of his fingers. Likewise, all contractors of the world have to pay in some way or the other after using their powers. While recovering from exhaustion, Louis is found by a masked man named Hey. He holds Louis hostage and inquires about a mysterious package. Louis knows exactly what he is talking about and tells him that a girl named Chiaki possesses it. Sensing his death closing in on him, Louis asserts that Hey can only get the package through him, but the cruel contractor doesn't care. He crushes Louis' face, killing him in an instant. Then we are introduced to Detective Tahara, who is assigned to Louis' case. Tahara and her team have been tipped about Hey numerous times, but he has remained one of the most secretive contractors of all time. Like most contractors, he works for a criminal syndicate and is always on the run. But the police have no information on Hey, from his power to what criminal syndicate he is associated with. For now, they have discovered that this girl named Chiaki has stolen information from the police database that the criminals desperately want. The information will help debunk many federal secrets about Hell's Gate, which is why the detectives are eager to get it back. Chiaki is currently missing. Hence, the police start looking for her relatives and investigate around her home to keep an eye out for her. The next morning, we see Hey move into a new apartment disguised as a Chinese exchange student, Li. He meets the old homeowner who introduces him to his beautiful neighbor. The woman is none other than Chiaki, but is living with a different identity. She keeps her distance from Li, careful not to let herself be recognized. In the evening, Chiaki goes to her job as an entertainer at the club. To her misfortune, her clients turn out to be the detectives who had been looking for her the entire day. Chiaki manages to escape before they recognize her, but it doesn't stop the policeman from pursuing her. While on the run, she bumps into Hey, gazing at the stars. He pulls her close and plants a kiss on her lips so the detectives won't recognize her. After they leave, he apologizes and Chiaki is thankful for his help. Hey offers to drop her home as her neighbor, but she is too paranoid to trust him that easily. They go separate ways, and Chiaki is yet again approached by a man. This time, it's Louis' friend, Jean. It is then revealed that Chiaki didn't know Louis was a contractor. She agreed to keep something safe for him because they were good friends, but it got her into a lot of trouble with the police. Hence, she is living as someone else, but has no clue about why everyone is after her. After finding out that Louis is dead, she refuses to hand over the substance to Jean. In turn, he tries to knock her out, but she is yet again saved by Hey. Jean uses his power of Lancernaut radiation to follow them behind, but Hey hides his identity as a contractor and refrains from using his powers. As a result, he is pushed off a bridge and Chiaki is kidnapped. When she wakes up, she finds herself locked in a room with Jean and his group of friends. He is arranging a bunch of stones in a straight line, which is how he pays for using his contractor power. Even Jean doesn't know why he does it, but he is grateful to have been assigned an easy task. They notice Chiaki is up and ask her about Louis' package. The door to the room is locked with a passcode, leaving her nowhere to run. But just when she is about to be attacked, it miraculously opens and lets her out. Chiaki runs and manages to escape after a while. It turns out the door was opened by a doll named Yin. Dolls are artificial humans who have the special power to manipulate things using the energy of water. Hence, Yin managed to open the door for Chiaki from miles away. However, the reason she is helping the girl is still unknown. Chiaki runs down the street in the rain and comes across Hey yet again. He holds her as she falls down in exhaustion. After she calms down a little, Hey carries her to her home, which has been ransacked. The two decide to stay at his place for the night. Throughout the night, Chiaki shares every detail of her life with Hey. He feels sympathetic that she put so much faith in Louis. and he used her for his good. She now has the police and the criminal syndicates after her and is tired of running. Hei suggests they run away to a different country, as he can help her get a new passport. Chiaki asks him if he really is an exchange student, but they are interrupted by the arrival of the detectives. They find her home in shambles and figure out that someone already got there before them. After they leave, Chiaki and Hei go to a restaurant and discuss an escape plan. Hei orders a bunch of different food and eats while Chiaki returns home to rest. Following her departure, Hei meets his boss, Kano. It is then revealed that Hei didn't help Chiaki out of the goodness of his heart. In fact, he has been asked to steal Louis' secret package that he stole from the police. Hence, he has been following Chiaki, trying to win her trust, so she would tell him where the package is. The doll who helped Chiaki by opening the door when she was kidnapped is also Hei's friend, Yin. They had planned the entire situation to make him look like Chikaki's savior. Suddenly, Hei notices Jean's men in the restaurant and runs to Chiaki before they narrowly escape through the kitchen. Then we are introduced to Hei's team consisting of the doll Yin, his boss Kano, and a contractor stuck inside a cat's body named Mao. They discuss how they are so close to completing their mission. Meanwhile, Hei and Chiaki hide in a staircase, hoping the thugs won't find them. Chiaki has lost hope of ever living a normal life, but Hei is still optimistic. She finally hands him a pair of keys and tells him the location of the package, planning to sell it and collect enough money to run away. Hei happily receives the keys, delighted that he is close to completing the mission. However, he doesn't feel good about betraying Chiaki. The next day, the duo goes to the locker and receives a notebook. With the mission being completed, Hei is supposed to kill Chiaki, but instead, he erases her memory and walks away. At the same time, Jean and his men find Hei and a chase ensues. Suddenly, Jean reveals that Chiaki is actually a doll set by him to lure Hei into their trap. Jean was Louis' friend, who wanted to avenge his death, and the connection Hei formed with Chiaki was only a ruse. Just when the thugs think they have won, Hei uses a string to attack them. He easily manages to kill Jean's minions, but their leader runs away in a hurry. Then arrives Kano with news that the package has already been secured elsewhere because the syndicate had predicted that Chiaki is a decoy. Soon, Yin uses her power to find out where Jean is, and Hei kills him. That way, the mission is over and all the enemies, including Chiaki, are dead. At the end of the day, Detective Kirihara comes to interrogate Hei about Chiaki, and he claims to not know anything about her. In the following scene, we are introduced to Dr. Tahara. He is the only person who came out alive from the first group of Hell's Gate exploration team. In a flashback, we see that he had found a purple flower inside the Hell's Gate before he was rescued. After said incident, Tahara's life turned upside down. He abandoned his only daughter, Mai, and submerged himself in his work, looking to find out what exactly the flower is. It has been years, but he never tries to reconcile with Mai. She is in middle school and is severely depressed because of her father's nonchalance. Hei's next mission is to find out what Tahara is working on and steal his research. Yin secretly gives him a pack of cigarettes and a watch to help him with the mission. Hei then pretends to be a delivery worker and manages to switch Tahara's watch to the one fitted with a microphone. At the same time, two members of the rival syndicate are at a hotel waiting for the scientist. Like Hei, they also want Tahara's research and are willing to pay him for it. Elsewhere, Mai finds herself in front of a pile of burning books. She doesn't remember how she got there, but the commotion gets her in trouble, and her father is called to her school. Because Tahara doesn't have a car, he asks Hei for a ride. Later, he overhears Tahara's conversation with his daughter and finds out about their stranded relationship. He is particularly interested in Mai's bandaged wrist, which she never seems to take off. When night comes, Tahara notices that the flower is starting to decay. The criminals at the hotel get impatient and decide to kidnap Mai to get to Tahara. The next day, she is at the library when she meets Hei. She ignores him at first, but he follows her home to ensure her safety and eventually wins her trust. They even go to the amusement park together and have a lot of fun. After an entire night of fun, she takes off the bandage and reveals a strange light on her wrist. It turns out that Mai is a contractor with the ability to create fire as she wishes. However, Tahara didn't want his daughter to be labeled as a monster, so he uses the flower's seeds to suppress her powers. The plan has since backfired because Mai has no control over her power, and the flower is decaying. This makes Mai a danger to the people around her. Mai and Hei are returning home when the criminals attack them, and Mai is caught. Her powers work at the right time, and she lights the criminals on fire. Her life is saved, but the poor kid doesn't understand what's wrong with her. Soon the fire goes out of control and burns down an entire building. The police use astronomy to figure out that a new contractor is spreading its wings in Tokyo. Mai's friend finds her in an alley and asks her to join the group. When Mai refuses, her friend's father tries to force her to come outside. As a result, both of them are burned to death. Mai feels awful about what she did because she has no control over her powers. The police yet again get the signal of her power and locate her in a park. Just when she is about to be caught, the rival criminals come to her aid. They save her from the police but kidnap her to use her against her father. Tahara is asked to bring his research in exchange for his daughter, but what he brings is the dead flower, revealing that his research has failed. Hei is also there to step in case any harm is done to the little girl. Suddenly, Mai creates flames around her and her father. They hug after a decade and finally reconcile. But the happy moment is followed by Tahara pointing a knife at his daughter. He doesn't want her to harm more people and is willing to murder her for the sake of others. Just when he is about to stab her, the rival contractor kills him. Mai holds her father as he dies in her arms. Mai is then taken in by Kano and his syndicate. She travels to Heaven's Gate to train to control her power and become a true contractor. Somewhere else in the city, a contractor named November 11 is in a meeting with a local gang. They are trading something that the gang owns for a lot of money, but the leader decides to betray November 11 and keeps both the money and the product. Suddenly, November 11 reveals that he is a contractor and cuts a person's arm with a single touch. The leader tries escaping, but November 11's associate, April, and a kid stop his way. April uses her power to freeze his entire body until he reveals where the said substance is. Then he is killed, and the contractors walk away. November 11 has to smoke cigarettes, and April has to drink a can of soda as a result of using their powers. April, November 11, and the kid named July are a part of a British intelligence agency called the M16. They meet a girl named Havoc and declare that they will be working together for the next year or so. Havoc is the most feared contractor of all time, according to the police reports. She claimed many lives during Heaven's War, using her ability to create a vacuum at any location. Despite being a government organization that should be working against contractors like Havoc, November 11 and his group are eagerly interested in working with her. They hand her over to Tokyo police as the next part of their plan. November 11 tells Kirihara that they are just following standard procedures, but she is suspicious of his intentions. Nonetheless, Havoc is put in a helicopter to be transported to a secured prison. November 11 and Kirihara are on their way to the station when they are informed of an organization trying to approach the helicopter transporting Havoc. November then reveals that Havoc is still inside the trunk of their car. He wanted to test Kirihara's team to see if the information leaks, and as he had predicted, it did. The police force is not very happy about the intrusion, but they have no room to argue because the leak was their fault. Kirihara and November 11 then drive Havoc to safety. They yet again have to stop when Hei gets in their way. This is when we find out that November 11's entire plan was to lure Hei in because he also wanted Havoc. The two contractors face each other and engage in a chase, while Kirihara is knocked out by Kano. Kano then kidnaps Havoc. The following morning, Kirihara apologizes to her senior and promises to find Havoc as soon as possible. The police have been told that November 11 was outsmarted by Hei, but Kirihara believes that 11 deliberately let Havoc get kidnapped. In the next scene, we see Hei hold Havoc hostage. He seems to know her from the past and holds a grudge against her. The episode ends as he asks her where his sister Pai is.